Hello to anyone watching this on YouTube. I am TwistSR. Nice to meet you. Today, I'll be doing a small, more long-form content video playing through a Celeste Randomizer. Now, the way a randomizer works is that I'll be going from one room to the next at complete random, and it's scattered across the game. I use specific settings, which I'll explain. The first being pathway, which means that I have a guaranteed start and end point for the randomizer. I'll start in one room, and I have a clear, very big ending, which as far as I've seen, have been rooms that contain a crystal heart. Labyrinth and Endless look pretty fun, but they're not something that I've personally explored. And I challenge anyone who tries this mod, which I'll link in the description, alongside credit to the creator. I challenge anyone to just have fun with those if they think that's what they like. And yeah, another thing I do is I play on normal difficulty. This allows me to have a lot of A and B sides, as I'm a Celeste speedrunner. So, and I do mostly any percent, as you can see in what I just put on screen. So I think this is honestly the best rule set for me. I tried hard, but didn't really work out. Could definitely work out in the future, but not at the moment. It works pretty well for when I wanted to play them. But yeah, so normal is what I went through. It has all the A sides in the game, including some farewell screens, and a few of the B side screens. I think it's pretty well balanced for anyone who's played through the game a decent amount. They don't need to be speedrunners, especially since some of the rooms can go backwards. You aren't going forward and backward in every room. You can change it up. Speaking of changing it up, I'm now going to change up my length to medium. Keeps it a good 15-20 minute format for me when I've done a few of these runs. Now the first room, which starts us in the middle of chapter 2. And immediately just brings us to the wrong room. Yeah, that's what a randomizer will look like. I decided to try the other room here, the bottom side room, and I thought that would be right. I didn't see any glowing, which is my indicator for where I have to go if there's multiple exits to a room. But these first few don't really have multiple exits. A lot of them are a little more straightforward, even though they are hitting random. We see chapter 2, we see 5, we see 6. It's kind of randomized around. Although this is 6B, and it was a thing that I kind of forgot to do. So, I had to do a lot of resets here. I'm going to talk in a bit and just let the randomizer go for itself. I'll be back in a moment when the randomizer gets a little wackier with some of the rooms that I have to go through. One thing I'll add at this point is that the randomizer really forces a lot of weird ways to play rooms. For example, the last room and the room I'm currently doing are not really rooms I've ever dealt with in this way. I've only ever gone through them in one very specific fashion. Part due to speedrunning, but even with Barry running in casual play, I've never done the room 3A that way. And this is where I got confused. Because of one exit that I thought was fun, but it ended up not being so fun. And I tried to backtrack as best I could. Luckily, due to where I entered, I was able to get to where I needed to be to move on. Into a room I've also never done backwards. Yet again, a room that I've only ever gone to where I spawned from. In rooms like this, I checked the berry screen, the berry transition, the room that I tried and failed with, just to see what was open at the time. And now it's just more of a praying moment, or a moment of prayer, as I try to get through all this, without really knowing how to handle any rooms backwards, before getting a room forward that I just struggled with. Honestly, for little to no reason. Like, I don't understand why some of it happened. This play was just bad. But then I started getting some comfortable rooms, and it went a lot better. Such as this room. Like, these are rooms that, through speedrunning, I've gotten used to doing this way. So it's become a lot easier for me to just manage them. Although this room, which I'll let speak for itself yet again, was hard to manage. I really want to talk about this room. I've seen this room in other seeds of the randomizer room, but God, I hate doing this room. This is why for one of the most challenging rooms in this random, and honestly in general, going from, especially if you're going from the right side, once again, because in normal playthroughs of the game, you never go this way. You're usually going from left to right. And the solution I came up with is honestly completely made up. It's just something I guessed with, which yes, it will show itself, but again, very odd, all things considered. Which honestly is a nice positive. So one other thing, I didn't mention this in my settings. You notice it in the top left with the current screen. But I use a setting called Illuminate Path. For rooms like the chapter 6 screen I was just in, which has multiple exits, the path of what the correct exit is illuminated. Now sometimes I fail to recognize that, but that's honestly just a skill issue. A lot of that is not a fault of the randomizer, but more a fault of the player. The game actually does, or the randomizer I should say, not the game, does pretty well of articulating what you're supposed to, or where you're supposed to be going when. As either you'll see a giant illuminated path, or you won't. All you won't see for a few minutes is me see at this stream, because 5B, which is honestly, in my opinion, one of the harder B-sides, definitely in the top 3. including core and all that. The screen does take me a minute, but so yeah, this screen, I wasn't seeing a good way to do it. It felt really weird, but I also a little washed on this screen, because given how many screens there are in the game, some screens are just gonna fade out of sight, out of mind, really. And sadly, this is one of them. And with that, there's not much that goes on through this. It's really just kind of me bashing my head into a wall, finding this really weird wave dash to get through. Which, again, I still think he's one of the weirdest things, but it ended up working, so I wasn't really complaining. But I wasn't able to really finish out the screen, sadly. But at least the beginning was coming easier. That was a big choke point. Like this beginning and this end, which I really played the end weird in my final attempt, as you just see. Where I found that wasn't the ending. I did all that work for nothing. And Illuminate Path was directing me that way, so I was really confused. Especially since I didn't know of another exit to this room. And I just died on the only exit I was aware of. So I ended up starting to backtrack, and I saw that apparently I didn't see it yet. I initially went back, but I didn't see it. The bottom left side of the room, which is why Illuminate Path matters, also had a light on there. As I guess there must have been a path from that screen over to the path that I was on now. The path that led to a 5A screen backwards. Which again, really not that hard, because I really love Chapter 5, honestly. I think it's got some of the coolest screens to play through. Yeah, that's how I went about it. Also, I had some more inverted screen behavior, where I had to do some screens backwards. Not actually knowing how to do this, by the way. That dash that you just saw at the end was completely improvised. Also, speaking of improvised, we have another 5B screen that I wasn't really the most confident in. I won't honestly bore you with a lot of the details of how long this took me, but yeah, this was another sadly painful screen. One thing I really liked at this point in the randomizer, so this last chunk of these last few screens, they've been fun, challenging, and we start getting a nice mix of Farewell. I really like Farewell. Despite its difficulty, I think it's one of the best chapters, best levels in the game. It has a lot, while it's difficult, like 7C, I think levels like 7C are just much more monotonous difficulty, compared to, learning new things and dealing with fresh mechanics and stuff. Well, 7C, I don't know, it just doesn't have that same feel to it. Maybe I'm just wrong here, but... And again, please comment your opinion if you have one on my take, if it's a mid-take or anything like that. But yeah, I really like Farewell. I got honestly, some of the longer screens, in the case of this screen. Also getting some nice, sweet and short ones, mixed with some longer screens as well, or just screens that could have gone bad if I didn't remember them too well. I'm happy about that. Absolutely. And with that final screen completion, that ends the randomizer. This randomizer was really fun. I really had a lot of fun playing this. This seed was not the hardest one I've gone through, but definitely still one that I wouldn't mind going back through. My seed is in the bottom right corner of my game window on the video. So for those of you that want to play this seed, honestly, maybe even take the difficulty up with this seed, I encourage it. This is really fun. Shout out to the creator of the mod and anything I can find on them, linked in the description. Speaking of description, if you want to check out my Twitch, I might start streaming stuff like this if people want me to, but I don't really know yet. So if you want to see that, you can comment, you can like, do all the YouTube stuff to let me know that I'm a decent content creator. I'm open to any and all kind of feedback, just please be polite about it. But enough about me. I do want to talk about, again, the randomizer. Really fun, and you could add so much more to this. I didn't show it here, but there's so much that could happen with this with this kind of gameplay. And with that, I hope everyone here has a wonderful day or night. That is all from me. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Check out any other content I have.